Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Backtrack Cinema. In this video, we will be doing a movie review of Die Hard. So get comfy, get your popcorn, and let's talk the classic Die Hard. Come down to the coast, we'll get together, we'll have a few laughs. Die Hard was released in 1988, directed by John McTiernan, and starring Bruce Willis, Alan Rickman, and Bonnie Bedelia. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Backtrack Cinema. My name is Jason, and this is where we talk movies of the past that you know and love. And welcome to a brand new video, guys. We're going to be reviewing Die Hard, but before we get into Die Hard, let me know in the comments below your history of this movie, what you feel about this movie, how you like this video at the end of it. Let's have a great discussion on Die Hard. Now, the big question with this movie that everyone talks about, is it a Christmas movie? Is it not a Christmas movie? We all have our certain boxes we have to check to what constitutes a Christmas movie. And for me, a Christmas movie is something I watch at Christmas. That's the only time I feel like watching it. It's more of a feeling. There's certain things that play along with that. And Die Hard for me, guys, is not a Christmas movie for me. I know it takes place at Christmas. The feeling and the spirit of Christmas is just not there for me. Like, I can watch this in the middle of summer, but I know a lot of you think of this as a Christmas movie, so it's just nice to talk about it at Christmas. Basically, a Christmas movie for me, I have to watch it at Christmas. Like Black Christmas, I only watch at Christmas. Christmas Vacation, I only watch at Christmas. Whereas Die Hard, I can watch through the entire year. It's just a very awesome 80s action film, or action film period. It's just awesome, but for me, it's not a Christmas movie. So let's just get that little argument out of the way. Now, in saying that, Die Hard created a new type of action film. It seems like every action actor had to have their Die Hard. From Speed to Air Force One, The Sudden Death, and Olympus Has Fallen have all mimicked and imitated Die Hard in some way or the other. So when a New York City police officer tries to save his estranged wife and several others taken hostage by terrorists during a Christmas party at the Nakatomi Plaza in Los Angeles. And one of the things I really like about Die Hard is that one location setting feel to it, where it takes place in this one building where John McClane is hiding around from the terrorists trying to figure out how to stop these guys, but it's that one location that really makes it great. A really cool piece of information I found was that the building they filmed in is actually the headquarters to 20th Century Fox. And we all love the character of John McClane. I love the character of John McClane. I know you guys do, because this is such a popular action film. And I wouldn't dispute anybody who said this was their favorite action movie, or even has said this is the best action film ever made. I wouldn't dispute that. There's few more action films I would have above it, but I would not dispute that. And it's this character. I just love this character, man. This character is he's got this huge pride, this huge male ego. He's wisecracking, he's funny, but he's relatable. He's relatable in this situation that's going on with him and his wife. He fights off people with raw determination and survival. Like this is a kind of a movie where all the action sequences are scrappy. It's like a real down and dirty scrap. And Bruce Willis was not even their third choice to play this character. You got to remember, at the time, Bruce Willis was not an action star. He didn't do action. He was a comedian. He was more comedic roles and like stuff like Blind Date, and he did Moonlighting on TV, I believe. So the way he just brought that into this character made it more relatable. He was always that underdog. The odds were against them. And I think that's why we like John McClane, because how real he feels. Like, this is not a guy this is not Rambo where he can take everyone out. This is not like in Arnold Schwarzenegger movies where he's this big hulking guy. You know he's going to always win. This is just a regular dude, a New York cop, who's in a situation that is far above his skill level. The way he uses his stubbornness and just that raw determination to to take these guys out is fantastic. And I love how John McClane is always sitting there and he's always talking to himself all the time. He's always wisecracking to himself with all these one-liners in this movie. It's hilarious.
Come out to the coast. We'll get together. Have a few laughs. You take this under advisement, jerkweed. Oh, John, what the fuck are you doing?
How the fuck did you get into this shit?
I also really love how they put these things in the plot that seem so trivial at the time, and there's these big payoffs at the end. We get this point where the guy on the plane tells John McClane about flying. If you're nervous of flying, that curl your toes, take your socks off, curl your toes, is what gets rid of his socks and puts him in bare feet. That puts John McClane in a situation where they're shooting the glass out on him, and then he's got to run across broken glass. And as a kid, when I watched this, him pulling glass out of his feet, it was gnarly, man. Absolutely gnarly. And having that tension between him and his wife just adds this layer to this, that adds that drama to this film. But also, the reason they're fighting at the beginning of this movie, because she's using her maiden name, Gennaro, and not McClane, which keeps her safe throughout the movie, because Hans Gruber doesn't know who she is. Stuff like that, I just absolutely love. Or we get this conversation where we find out Sergeant Powell, the reason he's become a street cop, because he shot a young kid who was 13. And all this plays into that. This gives more drama and more character development, if you know what I mean. And at the end, he's the one who saves McClane's life, where he shoots the one of the terrorists at the end. But one thing I think Die Hard does not get enough credit for is the heart that's going on in this film. I really feel this movie has a good heart, and it's that one scene where John McClane doesn't think he's going to get out, and there's a time where we think he's not going to make it. Like, I really feel like there's a lot of tension and suspense throughout this movie, and where he tells Powell, if you find my wife, tell her that I'm sorry. He lets go of his pride. He lets go of his male ego. He admits that he was wrong. He should have supported his wife more. That's what it's Die Hard so great, man, is about this guy trying to save his wife, save the people in Nakatomi Plaza, telling her, I'm sorry, I screwed up. I should have been more supportive of you. The love he has for his wife is just, it's great. That's what I love about this movie. It's my favorite scene in the whole movie.
Tell her that she's the best thing that ever happened to a bum like me. She's heard me say I love you 1,000 times. She never heard me say I'm sorry.
Great performance by Bruce Willis here. I just love it. It actually gets me chills. You know, it just stirs up that emotion in me. And that's what action movies need. They need more heart like that. And that's what's so great about Die Hard. And the villain, Alan Rickman. Isn't Alan Rickman fantastic in this? Such a great villain. And when you have a great protagonist, we have to have a great antagonist. Like, a villain is so important in a film like this. It's important in any film. Hans Gruber is great. He's well-educated, he's smart, he has a comedic side to him, he's charismatic. Alan Rickman just brings that it factor to this role. He's one of the most memorable villains in an action film. And I like how they show right off at this character of how relentless and how he will not negotiate. When he kills the owner of Nakatomi Plaza, because he says, well, you're just going to have to kill me. Okay, bang. I just love that, because that's that tone that, hey, these guys aren't going to screw around. Alan Rickman shows you right away that this is a villain that's not to be toyed with. And the directing of John McTiernan, the action in this film, oh my goodness. He does Predator a year before and goes on to Die Hard. Is there a director with a better two-punch combo from one year to the next? I mean, just amazing. Two of my favorite action films in the top 10, both Predator and Die Hard. And the way this guy directs action is amazing. Like when they're all doing the shootouts on the rooftop scenes, just amazing. Use the nice wide shots following the action. He follows action like as if we're sitting there beside it, crouching down almost, kind of like we're peeking in. And I really like that. He has a really great way of pacing a film and pacing the action. Like, this film's over 2 hours long, but it doesn't feel like it. It just goes by. Great editing, great pacing, great directing of the action. I mean, the physical fights are great, the shootouts are great, and things in this movie that every action movie has done now. Wasn't repetitive at that time, like when John McClane wraps the fire hose around him, and he jumps out the building, and he's shooting the glass and breaking through the glass. How many times have we seen a scene like that now, right? I can't say enough about the action in this film. If we're judging this movie purely on its action and its pacing, this probably is the best action film of all time. Even Hans Gruber's henchmen and all the other terrorists are fantastic in this. I think they're all very serviceable, and they just seem to stand out more than any other action film. And I love the Western feel. It almost has this Western feel to it, this Rio Bravo feel. Like when John Carpenter did Assault on Precinct 13, that kind of Western copying Rio Bravo, stuck in this police station. With here, John McClane stuck in this building, has that Western feel, and they all have that, they're giving shots all the time. Like John McClane's a cowboy, and they're referencing things like Hans Gruber saying, you know, just another American cowboy. He's seen too many John Wayne movies, and John McClane like coming back. I always like Roy Rogers myself, so you know, and even when he blows Hans Gruber away at the end, and he goes, you know what I mean? Very cowboy references, and it does have an overall modern Western feel to it to me. So I always appreciate that. I absolutely like that. So yeah, guys, Die Hard is just a fantastic action film. You get a great character in John McClane. You get this great character development of a husband and wife coming back together. Great action scenes and just one entertaining ride. So I'm going to give Die Hard a B+. It is one badass movie, man. Well, what about you guys? Let me know in the comments what you think of Die Hard. We'll have a great discussion about it. If you like this content I'm dishing out, if you like the movie reviews and the rankings, then give me a subscribe, give a like, so you don't miss out on any further content. My name is Jason, and this is Backtrack Cinema, and I will see you on the next video, and I will see you in the movies, man. Cheers.